Um, I just wanted to make this video about anxiety and how I deal with it and how I cope with it. Um, I just think that it's important to talk about your anxiety or depression if you are going through it. Um, I think it's important to talk about it with somebody that you can trust, somebody that you are connected with, like your mom, your dad, grandpa, grandma, wife, husband, anyone who you feel like a connection with and someone you can trust and vent to and to cry with, um, someone that will support you through your anxiety and depression and not judge you. Um, when I was My anxiety started when I was in third grade. I remember feeling different, feeling alone, being scared. I didn't know what that feeling was, and I didn't know how to explain it to anyone. I didn't know what was happening. I thought I was stuck in a dream, and I was really scared. I thought that I would wake up because this was such a such an intense moment. Um, it was scary, and I didn't know how to deal with it, and I didn't know how to explain the sadness I felt for no reason. It just happened. And I didn't know how to even express or how to talk about it or how to say like, hey, go to my mom and say what I was feeling, because I couldn't even put it into words. I didn't understand it myself, so I didn't know how to explain it to anyone else. So I dealt with it for many, many years alone, and I cried to myself. I I was really scared. So I think that as the years went on, it just started building up and building up and building up because I never talked about it with anyone. I just thought that I was different and that no one was going to understand if I tried to explain it. And if I did, I really didn't know how I would explain that to them, and they would probably just think that I was crazy or something. So I just kept it to myself, and as the years went on, I I feel like the anxiety just grew more with it, and the depression grew more with it because I had it for so long that it made me depressed. That I spent my whole life dealing with it alone. Um, and I got it when I was in third grade, and still I'm dealing with it in my 30s. I'm still dealing with depression, but now I understand how to cope with it. Now I understand, like, not how to get rid of it, but how to just go through the moment, go through the anxiety. I talk about it with my husband, and as weird as I think that my thoughts are or my feelings are, I just talk about it with him. I just tell him whatever I'm thinking and feeling. And sometimes I cry because I'm scared of what I'm feeling or thinking. It scares me. Anxiety is mostly fear. Um, so whenever I'm feeling that way, I just kind of just sit down with my husband and talk about it. And or sometimes I just pray. Like if my husband is away, if he's not, if he's at work and I'm going through the anxiety, I just start to pray, and I I'll read the Bible. I will listen to Christian music, something that will try to get my mind off of it. And um and sometimes my husband and I will pray together, and that helps. That that we pray together, we talk about God together. um it helps. And even just crying to him, just venting to him and telling him I'm feeling this way, and I don't know why, I can't explain it, but I'm just not feeling like myself. And he will, he'll listen. And I think that's the most important thing that you can do, or that someone can do, is just listen to our thoughts, to what we're feeling. and and it doesn't even need to make sense. It doesn't need to make sense because it doesn't make sense to me sometimes. And I'm like, why am I thinking this way? Like, what? Like, why am I feeling this way? There's no reason to feel that way. Or why am I thinking that way when, um, you know, it hasn't even happened? Those things are not happening. So why am I worrying about it now and then worrying about it again later? Like, it's just not the way that we should live life. We should just enjoy every moment in life. And, even the Bible says, don't worry about today, for tomorrow has enough to worry about. So, if God doesn't want you to worry about it in that moment that you're feeling it, then trust that. Then trust that God says, do not worry about your problems. I know that it's hard. It's hard not to worry about it. It's hard to try to avoid it, and don't try to avoid it. I don't think that's the way to deal with it. I think that we need to talk about it. The moment that you start feeling your anxiety, I think that it's a good idea for you to, if there's nobody to talk to, if there's nobody to express what you're feeling, then maybe write it down. Write down what you're feeling, and then put it away, and then look back when you're feeling better and see, like, what is the problem? Why was I feel like, read it and say, why was I thinking that? Like, try not to think about that next time, or try to be like, I got through that, like, that whatever I wrote down was a lie. It's not real. So uh just try to remember that. So whenever you're feeling or thinking the same thoughts that you did before, just remember that those were all lies, that wasn't even your real life in that moment that you were feeling or thinking it. So you could do that, or just like I said, just talk to somebody about it, and just cry. Sometimes crying helps. Like, I'm not saying that you should cry every day that you're feeling anxiety. I'm just like, sometimes it just gets so intense that it's just not good to keep it in, and you just need to let it out and just cry, and cry to God, and tell him to help you get through the anxiety. Tell him, have a conversation with him. Talk to him like you would talk to anyone else that you have a connection with, someone that you're close to. Just remember that God is number one, that he's the only one that will truly not judge you, and that will get you through it. And he doesn't want you to feel that way. He would never, like, he wants you to be happy, and he wants you to be blessed. He wants you to just enjoy every single moment of your life. So I know that he wouldn't, sometimes, like, when we talk to people about anxiety, maybe they're going to listen, but they're not really listening. Like, they don't truly understand because they don't have anxiety. And God understands what anxiety is. He knows anxiety, and he wants you to know, like, he understands what you're feeling, but put him first and give him your burdens. I think that God is number one. Like, God is your best friend. God is going to listen to you like no one else will. He wants you to talk to him, to have a conversation, to vent to him, to cry to him. Like, he is the number one person that you should go to get through your anxiety. I think that that it's important to put God first. I think that I think it's important just to talk about it. just to talk. And, some people tell me, well, why don't you take medication? Why don't you try a hobby? Why don't you try something different? And it's really not that simple. It's not that simple. Like, yes, maybe going outside will help me um, through that moment. But the anxiety is always there, when I come back inside. It's there. It's not going to go away. Like, my thoughts are still there. My feelings are still there. I think for me, it helps more when I'm talking to someone. And a lot of people say, like, you're not alone with anxiety. And I hear it all the time. Like, I watch videos about anxiety, and people say we're not alone, but when you're going through the anxiety in that moment, you are alone. So I think that it's important just to know, don't go through it alone. When you're feeling that anxiety, when you're feeling anxious and scared and worried, and like you don't understand why you're feeling this way, it just like came out of nowhere. I think that it's important for you to not go through it alone. I think maybe pick up the phone, maybe call a sister, a brother, a friend, your mother, your father, your grandparents, your husband, someone, anyone. Call someone you can trust. Call them and, tell them how you're feeling, tell them what's going on, or tell them, hey, do you want to meet up for lunch? Do you want to meet up for coffee? Do you want to meet up, or do you want to come over for a little bit and just talk to them? And like, don't try to stay stuck in that moment and try to go through it by yourself. I think it's important for you to reach out to someone so you can vent, so you can let out what you're feeling. Just make sure that it's somebody that you're close to, someone you can talk to, someone that you can trust. And like I said, if it's no one, you can always talk to God, because He is listening. He understands. He does not want you to go through this alone. So, I just wanted to get the word out more about anxiety, because, people do have a lot of anxiety, and I think it's important for us to start talking about anxiety and not to be embarrassed or ashamed or worried what people are going to think. I think it's important for us to actually to get it out there, because a lot of people do have anxiety, and some people are embarrassed, and some people are ashamed or in denial, and they just want to avoid it, or just not acknowledge it. But it's important that you acknowledge what you're feeling, what you're thinking. So I just wanted to make this video about that, and just to let you know how I deal with my anxiety, and hopefully it can help you in some way.